Hey Grimwade gang, I hope you're all good. Thanks for joining us today for another video.
What's good?
Today, obviously, I'm here with baby. She's now 3 months old and we started weaning with her. So, I thought I'd share with you how I've lost all my baby weight.
We the Grimwades, welcome to the show. Spreading good vibes, gonna let everybody know. There's a window to our lives, so watch everybody grow. And everybody's welcome, from the royals to the pros. Yeah, love for checking out the journey. Big fam, couple guys, couple girlies. We're spreading happiness from early. Subscribe to the vibe, you heard me?
Oh my days.
So Grimwade gang, as you can see, today I don't have a boob outfit, you know? I'm literally here with her with her bottle. Yes. And she seems to be quite happy with it. And to be honest, most of my children, when they've made the transition from breastfeeding to bottles, have been okay.
Yeah.
But with this little gobble monster, I've literally done it a little bit earlier than usual. So, as much as I'm sharing with you how I lose most of my baby weight, obviously it's not all totally gone yet. Not quite all gone. It might be a slightly different journey this time because I'm just kind of not stopping breastfeeding but mixing it with bottles and stuff a lot earlier than before.
And why is that, Papa Love It?
Why is that? So if you've not watched her weaning video where I kind of explained, I shall tell you here. She seems to be a lot hungrier. And you know, some babies are like that, it's not a problem. But I just don't feel like my breast milk was giving her all the food that she wanted because she was like not really settling for a long enough time, especially in the evenings after having her nighttime feed, isn't it? And oftentimes that can be because they're just a bit hungry. So, you know, if you give them a nice full bottle before they go to bed, they drink as much as they want, it kind of knocks them out. You know that whole thing of being kind of milk drunk? They're like, So,
but may I ask,
oh?
how is that as a woman? Like, because I know it can be a tricky subject.
Yeah, I mean, I can be quite matter-of-factual in speech, but then actually my emotions sometimes I can feel quite different. And I've always said to anybody, when it comes to breastfeeding or bottle feeding, just do whatever works for you and also whatever works for your baby, because I would never want any woman out there to feel less of a mum or woman or what have you if, for example, breastfeeding didn't work out for them, because at the end of the day it is most important that, you know, you're okay and obviously paramount, your baby's okay, do you know what I mean? And they are full up enough and they've got all the food that they need. So, and for me, because I've always felt like breastfeeding is such a lovely way to kind of bond with your baby and connect with them, and it's something that obviously only you can do for them in terms of like the actual breastfeeding.
And I think as a father, sorry to interject, it's one of those things, like, I don't know if anyone else out there feels this way, but for me as a dad, the biggest bonding stage comes kind of when they're past that almost,
yes.
Or at least when they're getting to the end of that, when they get a bit more self-sufficient, but it really is a special time that is unique and only you can give.
Yeah, precisely. At this young age, especially, where, you know, she has just been breastfed up until this point. So I've had a lot of bonding time with her. And then on the other hand, just as you said that, babes, like there might be some dads out there that are used to feeding babies with their bottles from a young age, and maybe
especially if they were single dad or something like that.
And maybe that's a special bonding time for them.
Absolutely.
So sorry if I robbed you with that.
No, it's not like that. In our family, we're just, everything is seen as a team effort. Everything. Even if I do something, it's seen as a team effort. If you do something, it's seen as a team effort. That's just how we work in this family. If you've been following us for long enough, you'll know that. Like, we're not really interested in, oh, what's that role and this role, and it's just a team effort. And if you feel you want to do it, you do it. If I want to do it, I do it.
Exactly, like there's times, for example, if I need something done in the house or an nappy changed or whatever, I'll go, babe, can you do that? And if on another day you've got to already do another job with someone else, if I have to be at home doing a vlog or what have you, you'd be like, oh babe, can you do that? And I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever works, guys. So I was gonna say that for me, one of the magical keys to losing baby weight after being pregnant is breastfeeding.
Yeah.
So I've found that for 6 of the children so far, because I've breastfed them from day one and hadn't really introduced a bottle usually until about 9 months, bar Hallie, who had one a little sooner than that. I found that the breastfeeding, it literally just sucks the weight off you. I do find though a lot of mums are a bit like, I'm so hungry with my breastfeeding. And that can sometimes be a little bit of a problem, because you know, like that whole thing of, oh, I'm pregnant and I'm eating for 2. Sometimes it's like I'm breastfeeding and I'm eating for 2. Well, yes and no, because you don't literally need to eat for 2. You just need to eat regularly and have a good, healthy, balanced diet. And then obviously you'll be producing milk and hopefully you'll be producing milk and it should all hopefully go swimmingly well.
No, I was just saying, I've always heard that they will take what they need.
Yeah, precisely.
And it's kind of all up to you for you.
Yeah. You better just make sure you eat enough calories. So yeah, I've found that has really helped. The phase that I tend to find more tricky is this phase once they start weaning. So with her, it's obviously come a lot sooner, because what sometimes happened is that I've lost a lot of weight in the period of time where I've been breastfeeding, solely breastfeeding. And then when it gets to the kind of 9-month stage when they're starting to have bottles, have bottles, and obviously they've been eating food as well, I find that then it's hard. It's harder for me to make sure I keep losing weight. Yeah, because the breastfeeding has kind of been doing a kind of bit of a magical thing in the background for me. And I've been one of those mums that I'll breastfeed whenever, wherever. So it's not even just like, oh, I only breastfeed when I'm at home. So literally when I'm out and about, I will feed her. So again, that is calories being sucked off me.
And you'll feed on demand. You are not on a timer kind of girl.
No, not at all.
If they're hungry, you feed them.
Precisely, I'm definitely a feed on demand person, and that's just worked for me.
Which is all the time.
Yeah, and especially obviously if you breastfeed from when you first have the baby, you have like major cramps going on, and it just gets worse
Because
with
it's
children
contracting your
the
uterus or
that's
something
right.
while you breastfeed. If you didn't know that, now you know.
There you go, and that really does help for your tummy, to help your tummy go down. And what I've also done is literally the day after I've come home from the hospital. Obviously, bear in mind, guys, I've never had a cesarean, so I do not recommend this if you've had a cesarean, okay?
Yes.
But I've always gone straight back into a waist trainer, like the day, well, not always, because I didn't really wear waist trainers that much after Hezzy and Hosanna and Hallie. But I think Harper onwards, I kind of discovered the waist trainer life. I was like, hey, this is great. I did always used to wear controlling underwear, the kind of slightly tighter things, but they were just annoying because they would always roll down and it was all uncomfortable. But I do feel like the waist trainers, you put them on, they suck you in and they stay in place. So yeah, big up waist trainers. And I'm not saying wear one so it's tight to the point that you can't breathe, but it does help to hold things in place. And I have actually also found that for myself, after having so many children, the extra support has always really helped. A couple of things. It's helped kind of pulling my muscles back into place. It's just encouraged them, because of course
they take an attack during you're giving birth, don't they?
And the pregnancy as well,
more the pregnancy.
And the more babies you have, like literally your stomach muscles are parting, and you know, they just kind of need a bit of guidance as to where they're supposed to be going back together, guys. And then also after I had my hernia fixed, that I had fixed after I think, I just felt that the extra support was helpful. But also, what you don't sometimes realise is for your posture, when you've been pregnant, you've been so used to having a big bump there, you've probably not been holding your body up, you've probably actually kind of been lent on the baby.
Over, forward.
Yeah, sorry. Having the waist trainer has actually helped me a bit in kind of staying a bit more upright.
Can I ask you as well, what about from a self-confidence side of things after you've had a baby and you obviously want to always look your loveliest, as anyone would. How is that for a woman? Like, you know, I've just given birth. Because I'll be honest, in our relationship, I never seem to really notice you ever being like, in the mirror like, oh, this looks so like, I see it more as like a practical, like, it's happened, this is what happens, and I've obviously stretched out a little bit, and now I'm gonna get myself back together, one brick at a time. Just like that. I'm
gonna go a long way around to answering your question.
Okay,
so get ready. So basically, you know, I've always felt like however your body is, you be happy with with how your body is. If you want it to be different, you make the changes that you want to make. Do what makes you happy. So if you feel like I'm happy enjoying food and I don't mind being a big girl, maybe if I eat lots and lots of food and whatnot, then you live that life and be happy doing that. Do you know what I mean? But I still think it is important, you know, for your heart and stuff like that to actually still be healthy. I've always been a slimmer set person on my like legs and maybe upper body, kind of. But I've always been prone to put weight on my stomach. So if I'm going to put weight on from a child, it will go straight to my tummy. But over time, I've kind of learned what foods do and don't really work for me. When I was younger, I didn't really realise that milk and bread bloat me. So I'm there thinking I'll put weight on when really and truly it's just bloated. And obviously there is a difference.
I noticed that as an older man now. Like an older man, I'm not that old. 38 if you saw my birthday. But I noticed that if I've eaten certain things the night before, I go to bed and I wake up and I'm a bit like, I look super slim. And then if I've eaten certain other things, I'm like, huh? Where did that come? I didn't gain to like, you know what I mean, a stone overnight.
and then so I'm just laughing because even now when we both go out, Tim will be like, I'm not going to eat toast or bagels this morning because we're going out later, you know. But that just makes you laugh. But yeah, like, and then there's some people who really struggle to put on weight and they want to be thicker or they want to put weight on in certain areas. Well, then if you want to do that, I think the answer is go gym. Do you know what I mean? Try and thicken up in places if you want to do that. I know for me, if I lose weight, I lose it off my bum and my legs first and then my tummy. And I'm like, I just want to lose it off my tummy first and I want to put weight on my bum and legs. But yeah, that's just how I feel and that's just my preference of how I like to feel, because I think how you feel is really important and I just don't like the feeling, for example, like you don't like the feeling of feeling stuffed, like maybe some people like that, but I just personally don't like that feeling.
I personally didn't realise that was a thing until later life, like being stuffed. I probably always felt stuffed or over air or whatever, but I think as a younger I was blessed with a very fast metabolism that got me through everything. When you cross the 30 line, it does change. Yes, it does. It does change.
So for myself, I feel like I've learned over time to know how I feel comfortable and what I feel comfortable in. And when I look in the mirror, you know, I know what my body looks like. I'm obviously absolutely happy with my body. I've always liked my body. But then I think over time after having children, there are things that obviously change. You get more of a wrinkly tummy and stuff like that. And Tim's got a thing of where he loves to touch my tummy and explore my wrinkles. I'm like, thanks, babes. But it's not that I
love your mummy, and your mummy has done so much for me. She has given me 7 children. So those wrinkles are actually like medals of honor.
They're like beauty marks,
man.
do you know what I mean? Which is great. But at the same time, I fully appreciate them, and I wouldn't care showing them to you guys. Like I'm not someone that's like, oh my gosh, I've got to hide myself for it. Like I'm definitely not that person. As a child, I always used to love taking everything off, so I'd always get really hot, and I'll be the little girl running around in her dusted bottoms.
There's always one.
And even till now, I've got no qualms with, oh, you want to see what a pregnant belly looks like, this is what it looks like. Oh, after pregnancy belly, this is what it looks like. Like, I'm not at all fussed in that way. But then at the same time, if you would like to achieve a certain body image, then go for it as well. Like, I think that's totally up to you as an individual, but you should be happy with yourself prior to anything that you make, any changes that you might make, whether they are, going to the gym or maybe even surgery or something like that. You just have to be happy with yourself beforehand.
And I think, personally, my humble opinion, is that it is a woman's right, because before you had the children, that wasn't, you weren't like that. Do you know what I mean? So, you weren't like that before. So, I think it's totally well within your right if you want to do that and say, I want to go back to how I was before having 7 children in this instance. I think that's more than okay.
Whatever works for you. And in terms of what I eat and stuff like that, well, basically, I think I said obviously breastfeeding is one of my magical keys. Also, once you realise that you have children, especially when you have like multiple kids, you run around after those children so much of the time of the day you wouldn't even realise. Like I think I only realised it more when I had friends come round down to visit me, and I was like, Ellie, you don't sit down. Like, can we please sit down and talk? You're literally.
I could have told you that.
And they're literally like, oh, I've come to see you. You're just doing this, that, and Tim's there like, yes, babe, let me. But I'm such a stickler for wanting to do things myself, and I think if you've been around, you'll know this Grimwade gang. Even when my mum was at my house the other day, she was like, I asked her to help out with something. She was like, finally, thank you for asking me to help. Because on the flip side, when people do things that I haven't asked them to do, I can get very moody sometimes. So and I'm like, I didn't ask you to do that, and did it. And so we'll explain how we want it done, and I'm not always the best with doing that. So yeah, just bear with me, I'm getting there. But I'm always going here, there, and doing this, that, and the next thing. And I think just general movement as a mum, literally, it's exercise. It helps you lose weight, so that is something that helps me as well. Especially now we moved to this house, I'm literally up, down the stairs, and also, unless I'm being lazy and I do like call Hosanna, for example, we've got a thing of if like Houston goes upstairs to see her sisters, we've got to check that she's actually got there and not got stuck in between going in the bathroom, squeezing or soap over the floor or something.
Because there's 4 floors now, it's like, obviously those 2 middle floors.
Yeah,
a lot can go on
exactly.
there. Do you know what I mean?
And if we're used to going, oh, it's Houston upstairs for you guys, and they can't hear us, they have to run up.
That's the only place she could be if she's not downstairs.
Precisely. So running up and down the stairs, that's another thing. And if you didn't know, like our kitchen is downstairs, Tim's studio is on the next level up, so he can go, I saw her, babe, but still we've got to double check that she gets to the next level and then the next level up. So yeah, we kind of do the running up and down just to check where everybody is in the house, and that serves for exercise as well. And just your general daily duties, like doing the laundry, putting the bins out, like the laundry, the bins, walking around the kitchen. I've even found that when emptying the dishwasher, even though, I've been chatting for ages.
Probably allowed to go and do something now.
Yeah, but even when like emptying the dishwasher, where the girls do it a lot, it's backing and forth from the dishwasher to the cupboard and all that sort of stuff. And even if I'm like on a business meeting, I might have the baby in my hand standing up and moving around. So it's the constant movement that really helps. And last but not least, I don't overeat. I do not like the feeling of being stuffed, like I said before, and I try to stick to, for example, not always filling up on cereal or bread in the morning. I do tend to go for like fruit and yogurt. If I've had my main meal in the day, then in the evening I'll just have something smaller, and I can be a stickler for just having a diet drink as well. So I think you just have to kind of know your body and what works for you, but these are some of the things that work for me. I guess you should continue to see the progress of how I'm doing, and thank you all for, especially you guys that follow me on Instagram, for your lovely comments about how I look and whatnot. But I would just say to all the new mums out there, do not get hung up on, oh my gosh, I've got to lose weight, I've got to lose weight. Enjoy your baby. Enjoy your baby. 100%. This is such a special
because that will come around once, as in per baby.
You've got your whole life to exercise and lose weight, so don't make it the be all and end all. But if you do have any more questions about my losing weight process after having a baby, or weaning, or anything like that, please make sure you put it in the comment section below. Follow us on our Instagrams, they're all in the description box anyway. And breathe. We'll see you on the next video.
See you later.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
I get dressed up to go downtown. I'm all messed up on a Friday night. Not really here for a good time, but if you're up for drinks and a good crowd, raise your glass to the sky.